Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Networking Thursday. It is July 13th, 2023. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just open up the chat window on Zoom, enter your questions there. Also, for those watching on Facebook, enter any questions you've got into the comment field. We're monitoring both feeds. We'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Also, this is a great way to network with other people who are on the call today. So feel free in the chat window for those on Zoom to put in your name, target companies, your connection, how we can connect with you, and your LinkedIn addresses, and connect with everybody else who's on the call today. Send them a personal note, tell them you saw them here today on Networking Thursday. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org. In 2012, I launched the second website, careerusa.org, which just got rebuilt in the last couple of days. So if you go look at it now, you'll see the new version that's up there. And you go to Career DFW, you'll see the old version, which is going to be fixed in the next couple of weeks. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. You've got to remember your resume and your LinkedIn profile are not going to get you a job. What they get you is a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. Well, for every session for Networking Thursday, we've got a different speaker who's talking about networking. Networking is all basically the same thing. It's getting out and talking to other people and finding out what other people do and how you can help other people and how you can offer help to them. But everybody has a little bit different ways of speaking about it. Today, our speaker is Jason Hopper. He's a career coach at Jewish Family Services of Greater Dallas. They offer a lot of programming over at Jewish Family Services, career-oriented programming. You can check them out, Jewish Family Services of Greater Dallas at their website and do that. This is a recorded presentation. So if you have any comments or questions, we will look at that at the end of the session. So let me get the presentation going.
I want to make sure we take note of the subtitle here. It's the unconventional ways to get noticed, because as we're going and I'm talking about the different things, you know, I've heard, as I've done this presentation more than a few times, it's like, why are we doing this exactly? You want to get noticed. You want people to know who you are, right? Like, your job's out there, but if people don't know who you are to come let you get it, you're not going to get it, right? So as Jeff said, my name is Jason Hopper. I am a career coach here at Jewish Family Service. I've been with JFS for just a little over 2 years now, almost 2.5 years now. Before I was here, I worked for the Texas Workforce Commission. I was a Workforce Development Specialist 1, which is kind of really the state's fancy title for job coach. I was at the TWC for 7 years. And then before that, I was a recruiter. I had a few cups of coffee in the corporate world, but most of my recruiting was in staffing. I staffed pretty much in every industry except for IT. IT was the one thing I just got just a little bit of experience doing. And I did that for 14 years. So, you know, as I'm getting older, I do like to round down. I've been putting people to work in some form for, 20 years now. So that's who I am in a nutshell. I did see networking starting. Guys, make sure that you do get networked with everybody that's here today. Again, you never know who somebody's gonna know. And, like I said, it takes a village. So get connected, okay? Let's kick this baby off. The dictionary defines networking as the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. All right, that's great, but what does that really mean? You know, oftentimes people get the idea in their head about networking, right? They picture, a vast room with, 2 or 3 clumps of people here and there. Maybe there's wine or cheese and great conversation. That's not really what networking is. I like to think and remind everybody like networking is just talking to people. And I like to add making that offer to help them. People will be more than likely to want to help you if you offer to help them. And then this is the part that I love. I love social media, right? Social media has made networking very simple, very easy. I'm going to talk to you guys about not only LinkedIn, right? That's, of course, coming up next. I know this isn't LinkedIn Tuesday, but I'm not going to talk about social media and not talk about LinkedIn, because it is, in fact, the #1 go-to place for job seekers to get noticed. It's interesting the way that LinkedIn works now, because the platform's changed over the years. Previously, LinkedIn was like wait, back in the day, LinkedIn was like, oh, hi, I'm a recruiter, this is what I'm looking for. And then over here you had the job seekers like, oh, hey, hi, I'm a job seeker, and maybe we could connect and match up, right? That's how LinkedIn used to be. Actually, today LinkedIn is a lot more content driven than it is anything else. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But one question that I get asked, because yes, recruiters are still on LinkedIn. In fact, I believe the last email I received from a LinkedIn salesperson trying to sell me on the premium service said that like 97% of recruiters are on LinkedIn looking for candidates. That's like 97%, guys. That's like pretty much everybody. Like if you're a recruiter, you're probably going to be on LinkedIn, right? Which is why LinkedIn is so important if you are in job search mode. I read an article one time that said if you're a job seeker and you're not on LinkedIn, you basically don't exist. Not true, but I get the point. One question that I get asked a lot is, what's the best way to get connected to recruiters? Guys, something that you need to understand, everybody and their mama is trying to get connected to the recruiter because they are the recruiter. They are the people that will be calling you, screening you, setting up your interview with the hiring manager. And everybody's trying to get a hold of them. So they get a lot of requests. When I was a recruiter, LinkedIn was around, but it wasn't as big as it is. But I would still get a lot of requests to connect. Few things you need to know. First of all, I would suggest that you get a little bit focused on a specific company. Just getting out there and trying to connect to any recruiter that you see is not a very good strategy. I suggest that you get 10 to 12 target companies, places where you want to work, get onto LinkedIn, go find that recruiter that works at that company. There's a few ways that you can do this. The easiest way is in the search bar, type in the name of the company. In this case, we're going to use McKesson as an example, and type recruiter after it. You'll get the list of recruiters at McKesson. Next thing that you want to do, check their profile and look and see if they have some activity in there, okay? If they don't have any activity, this is not going to work. But if they have activity and they have a nice smiling face, excellent. Here's what you do, because you don't want to connect. Not yet. Now, keep track of your target companies and the recruiters that work there. However you keep track of things. If you want to write it down, cool. If you want to put it in your phone, great. However you keep track of stuff. I think it's probably easiest to track it in an Excel spreadsheet. So get the name of the company and put the recruiter in here. What you want to do before you go making that request to connect is engage with them. Look at their content. What types of things are they posting on LinkedIn? A lot of recruiters will post jobs. It's free. It goes to everybody in their network. Everybody in their network can see it, right? So let's say that's the case. Let's say a recruiter posts a job for an admin position, right? But you're not an admin. You're a project manager. Okay. I bet if you think really hard, you probably know at least one admin in your network, right? At which point, now we start engage. Hit the like button on that recruiter's post. Leave a comment. Hey, and then tag them. Okay. Does everybody know how to tag people on the LinkedIn? If not, it's real simple. Just hit shift and the number 2, the @ sign. What happens is when you do that, there will be a drop-down menu, and LinkedIn is smart. It knows the person that you're trying to tag, and it will list them first. Usually, like everything, that some things are glitchy. Last week, it wasn't doing it right, but normally that's what will happen. You can just click the person's name on the drop-down, the @ sign goes away, and their name is now in bold. That's how you tag them. Why do you want to tag them? Couple reasons. One, it'll go to their notifications that says that, Jason Hopper just commented on your post, right? Also, too, once you tag people, it lets everybody in that person's network, they have the ability to see it. Also, too, as other people are commenting on it, you will start to see those things in your notifications, okay? In fact, it says, Jason Hopper commented on your post. Then it say Jeff Morris commented on the post that you commented on. Keep the conversation going. Again, they want things. It's social media. They want you to continue that, right? So now you've tagged them. Cool. And you can leave them a message, right? Which is, hey, I may know somebody interested. Cool. Trust me, as a recruiter, former recruiter, I loved when I got referrals. It's one less person I got to go find myself, right? So you're trying to be helpful. All right. Let's say they didn't post a job. Let's say they posted something like an article about their company, right? Their company was in the news lately and they posted an article. Okay, cool. Like it, tag them, comment. That's super cool. Thanks for posting. I didn't know that you guys donated 100,000 eggs to orphanages. I don't even know, that's a crazy example, but like, you get the idea. You want to make sure that you are letting them know, that you read and you're commenting on it. Maybe they posted like they did a post. Some recruiters will do like a day in the life of the recruiter, right? I've seen a couple of those posts from recruiters. Same deal. Like it, tag them, comment. I suggest that you do this and engage with the recruiter that you're trying to connect with at the company you're trying to break in with for at least, well, I normally would say like 3 weeks, okay? But let's say they post something and they don't post anything for like, I don't know, a month and a half later. Well, okay, that obviously 3 weeks have gone by, but they've only had one post. You want to make sure you get, you're engaging in at least 3 posts if they're not as active before you go and make that attempt to connect with them. Because by the time that you have made that request to connect, I call that earning the ask, they should have that name recognition. They should know, right? Oh, yeah, Janet Young. I know Janet Young. Well, I don't really know you, but you've been engaging in their content, so they feel like they kind of do know you, and they will be more than likely to go ahead and accept that request to connect. The reason that you want to connect with them over follow is this. Once you connect to them, you now have access to them. And what I mean by access, I mean you can send them a direct message. Here's the other thing on LinkedIn, right? You've got your target company. We're going to stay with McKesson. We got McKesson, and I'm an accountant, and I want to work at McKesson. Okay, cool. Get connected to somebody that is in the accounting department at McKesson. Okay. Once again, look at their LinkedIn profile, see if they have activity, because if they don't, this isn't going to work, right? But if they do have activity, awesome. Make sure that you like it at the very least, and you can leave a comment on it. Okay. And then you could go ahead and do that request to connect. Now, a few things. When you're sending the note and you're sending that request to connect, first off, always send a note and tell the people why it is that you want to connect, right? For everybody that's on this call today, I want you to get connected to everybody. That your connection note's real simple. I saw you in the career DFW Jason Hopper presentation. I want to connect. Jason said we should connect. Get connected. All right. That's the easy connection note, right? If they have activity, like look at their activity. What are they posting about? Okay. I think a generic type of connection request note, such as we have a lot of mutual connections, and I went no, like, or hey, and this is also very general. I'm trying to get connected to other accountants, and I'm an accountant, right? Like if they have activity, look at what they're posting about, and that's where you send your note. That's where the magic goes, because now you're like, hey, Mark, I saw your article that you posted about the financial responsibility, and I thought it was interesting. Here's a link on a similar topic that I think that you might find interesting. Put it right there in the note. Look, wanted to connect and collaborate more with you. Thanks. Well, you're letting them know that you saw their content. You're trying to be helpful because you're sending them a link on a thing that is, obviously of interest to them. And then you're making that request. They will most likely go ahead and accept that connection request. Okay. Once they do, again, keep track of them, put them in your spreadsheet, because you want this to continue. You want to continue to engage in their content. Really what you're doing is you're laying the groundwork and building out the relationship. And so now you are going to go check every other day or so and see if they post anything new. And if so, can you comment on it? All right. Keep that networking moving forward. Once they get that job, your job, because you're going to be looking at the company too, right? Like you're going to be monitoring the company for when they're going to post that accountant position. That's what you want to do. But when they do, now you get to strike like a cobra. This is why it's important to have connected to the person rather than follow them, because you've got access. So now you could send another direct message that goes like this. Hey, Mark, y'all posted a position for an accountant. That's, I know that's what I do, but we got connected. I've attached my resume for your convenience. Let me know what the next step is. Now, before y'all start going, hey, say what? That's not the recruiter. It's not the recruiter. I understand that. Mark, the accountant at McKesson, is not the recruiter. He's not. But he is human. And humans, by nature, we are curious. So what's most likely going to happen is he's going to open up that resume. He's going to take a look at it, be like, oh, yeah, you can do the job. You got experience, and send it to his boss or supervisor, who will then look at it and, kick it down to the recruiting team and say, call. We want to talk. We want to interview this person. This tactic is actually how I got hired here at Jewish Family Service. I was already connected to our lead, Mitch Jacobs, when I was at the TWC, and I would comment on his content that he would post. I would refer my customers at TWC to the networking things that JFS did, and I would send Mitch an email, right? Like, hey, just outreach 30 people. Hope you have a good turnout. Thanksgiving, holiday roll around. I send Mitch a direct message, through LinkedIn. Hey, hope you have a great holiday. He would comment on my stuff. So he knew who I was. Again, I'm visible, right? He knows who I am. Job posts for Career Coach. I set my LinkedIn alerts to let me know anytime a job posted for Career Coach. And it posted for Career Coach. I stopped everything I was doing. It was Monday morning. Luckily, I did not have a customer at my desk. And I sent Mitch a direct message saying, y'all just posted this position. Here's my resume. Mitch said, great. I'll give it to Allison. our director, and he did. And then Allison called me 2 days later on a Wednesday, set up the interview for the following Tuesday, interviewed with her that Tuesday afternoon, and came back 2 days later, interviewed with our CEO, and then Friday afternoon, I got the phone call and got the offer. So I know the tactic works. I'm proof that it works. Yes, it takes a minute, right? Because you have to lay the groundwork. You have to engage in the other person's content. You have to keep that networking moving forward, but it works. I know it does. I'm proof it does. So another thing that I suggest is video. Guys, the way the algorithm is currently set up on LinkedIn, still, video content gets the most push into people's feed over anything else, right? And before you're like, okay, well, what? How am I gonna do that? Well, everybody's got this phone, right? It can record, it will record, and you could do a quick video. A few things about video and content, because I get asked this question a lot. I don't even know what I would say. What kind of content should I put in there? Well, you could talk about all kinds of things. You could talk about how you just had a great interview. Talk about your process. Tell a star story, right? Like, and if you guys don't know what star stories are, STAR is an acronym. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. It's basically a story that is unique to you, that tells how you solved a problem at an employer. Like a video star story that you upload onto LinkedIn could go a long way. Content, I think, is always important to post content. Again, you want to be noticed. I say all the time to clients, like, if your resume is the steak, your LinkedIn content is the sizzle. It's what sells you to the employer. And I think that if you have content on your LinkedIn platform, because guys, you know, the recruiters, hiring managers are going to check out your social media at LinkedIn at the very least. And if they have content to look at where you have described where you have solved a problem, telling me that star story, it's going to be a lot more memorable than somebody that does not have content. So just keep that in mind. Also, too, and video's kind of tricky. There are a couple things on video for doing videos. The first one is, yes, you can go back to edit it. Okay. I think, though, just the trying to get it perfect is a lot of time consuming. Whereas if you just point, click, record, and just start talking, and yes, you're going to have the, and then you're going to have those, but that's just kind of how we communicate as people, right? And so I think just kind of that raw, one take on a video is a lot better than something that's been chopped up and edited. But that's the thing. All right, I'm going to take a quick drink of my tasty soda. We're going to get to that last point, which I have been talking about this whole time, which is engage. Make sure that you are engaging in your contacts' content. Again, why are we doing this, Jason? We want to be seen. We want to be noticed. You know what I do every day? The first hour of my day, I do nothing but LinkedIn for an hour, right? Like it's actually up. My LinkedIn is up right now. Like if you go look and search me out, you can see the little green dot. It says I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm talking to you guys, right? But it's back and it's up there and it looks like I'm there, but I'm not on it. I'm only on the site 1 hour a day. That first hour in my morning, I post content, and then I just spend the next 45 to 50 minutes doing nothing but commenting, tagging, liking people's content. The reason I do it is I want to be noticed. I want to be visible. I want for people to know who I am and where I work and what I do. I want my name synonymous. If anybody goes career coach, oh yeah, Jason Hubbard, that's what I want. That's what you want. You want to be visible. You want for people to know who you are. You want to make sure that you are commenting and they know, you're building goodwill and trust is what you're doing by commenting and liking and tagging people on the site. That's what you're doing. So I encourage everybody to get out there, create some content, and get engaged with people that are in your feed. Facebook. Is anybody on Facebook in here? Or, yeah. Oh, we're live streaming on Facebook, aren't we? Oh, it is on Facebook. So Facebook, one of the things that I would suggest that you do is create a post to let your friends and family know that you're looking for a job. By the way, you need to be specific with this. All right, don't just say I'm looking for a job. You got any leads? No. You need, like, hey, I'm looking for project manager work. Let me know if you know anybody looking for project managers. LinkedIn, mostly business, former people that you used to work with or people you're trying to get connected with. Facebook's for friends and family, right? Like, so you should feel pretty comfortable posting something that pretty much only your friends and family are going to see. And your friends and family are going to want to try and help you anyway because, well, they're your friends and your family. This actually happened a couple of years ago to a friend of mine who I graduated high school with, and she created a post on Facebook that basically said, she was like, hey, the company where I worked is closing down. I haven't had to have a job in 20 years. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a resume. Can anybody help me? I don't know what's going on. And I saw it. I was working at the TWC, and I replied and told Wendy to do her file for her benefits and send me your resume. I'll try to help out. Somebody else that we know saw it and tagged Aaron Alanese, who we graduated with as well. Aaron is a director at a staffing company. He got involved. Somebody else commented and said, oh, I think I have a lead for you, right? And Wendy, she ended up getting a job, I think in about a month and a half. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you post a job on a post on Facebook that you're looking for work, you're going to get hired in a month and a half. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is she created a piece of content letting people know she was looking for an accountant position, and enough people got involved in it that she was able to get leads and get hired quickly. I'm saying that it's something that can be done. I've seen it done successfully, and that's something that you can do as well. The other thing too is, on your about section where you are able to list like where you worked, like your previous employers or whatever, like create a new one, and in there put looking for new opportunities as a software engineer, right? Or whatever you do, right? That way people know that's kind of what you're looking for. And by the way, when I was a recruiter, Facebook was like the thing, right? We didn't have Instagram and all that back then, but I would look at people's Facebook, to see what they were posting, right? So if your about section says that you're looking for work, and I'm a recruiter, and I'm like, okay, well, we're on the up and up on that, right? Groups. Very interesting what happened with groups. I'm in many groups on LinkedIn, and guess what? There's nothing happening at all in those groups. But I am constantly getting notifications on my phone that this person posted in this group, this person posted in that group. I did recommend, I had a client who is looking for he was in PR, and he joined a couple of PR groups, public relations groups, and that's the other part. You can't just go to the group. You have to engage. You have to be an active participant in the group, and he did so and ended up ended up he got a lead, which turned into an interview. He did not get the job. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, he did not get that job, but he did get a lead and an interview out of it. And so I know that groups are moving pretty good in Facebook, and I suggest you get into a couple of them. There will be groups specific to the industry that you're looking in. Jump in there, introduce yourself, and be active within that group. All right. Instagram. Is anybody on Instagram? Y'all are actually kind of quiet. Jeff's on Instagram. Some of y'all can't see because you got your camera off, but that's okay. So if you're on Instagram, my best suggestion for you, use hashtags. That's how Instagram works. Before I logged on to here, I did a little bit of research, guys, and I did hashtag marketing. And there it came back with 66.8 million posts have that hashtag. So then I went ahead and I typed in hashtag marketing jobs, and I got 60.1 thousand return posts on that. That's a lot of hashtags for marketing jobs. What does that mean? That means that companies are out there and they're using that hashtag to try and attract candidates. So now what happens? Okay, I've got a hashtag marketing job. We click it. Now we're starting to look at different types of companies that are hiring for those types of jobs. All right, great. Now what? Well, now's the time to comment and engage, right? And before we start getting too far down that rabbit hole, you want to stop and think and be like, well, they're not the recruiter, they're the social media guy, right? Right. But what happens next is you can always make a comment on it like, hey, I just applied to this position. What happens next? What's the next step in the process? Is the social media guy going to know that? They should know something because they posted it. But if they don't know, who are they going to ask? The recruiter, right? And they were more than likely to engage with you and tell you what needs to happen next, right? Now you got a couple things happening at this point because now you got some direction on what needs to happen. I think we all have been to enough presentations that we can agree that just applying to a job and crossing our fingers and hoping something happens doesn't work, right? But if you have direction on what should happen next, you're a little bit ahead of the game. I have a friend who he does the social media for Peloton. And he spends most of his day responding to people that have posted about Peloton or mentioned them in a post. He is the one that is the interacting person for the company for all the customers. So anybody out there who has a Peloton, if you leave a comment or a message on their posts or things that they do, my friend CJ is going to be the one to answer you. By the way, it's good for the company to have somebody like that because it's that you get to get that back and forth. You get to feel like you kind of know the person a little bit. Also, if they are any good at social media or have a social media person, that person will be able to interact with you. Okay. Some companies do this better than others. This happened. So a few weeks ago, transformer blew in my neighborhood and we didn't have power. It was probably, I think it came back on at like 2 in the morning or something like that. Right. And this works the same way, guys. Right. And when I said this, I'm jumping ahead. Twitter works the exact same way. Twitter works on hashtags. Okay. I didn't include a separate slide for Twitter, but that's how Twitter works. And now it's like miserable hot because we live in Texas, and I'm having trouble sleeping because it's so hot. And I'm like, I text Encore or, tagged them. And I'm like, hey, I haven't had power in this house since 4 o'clock. It's hot. What's up? Right. That was the whole tweet. And they responded within an hour. I finally fell asleep. But I got it the next morning. They responded. So companies will respond. It's just a matter of, how good the company is with it. The last time I did this presentation for another group, somebody asked, Jason, can we get the hashtag down, or can we get like just marketing jobs in Dallas? Because I live in Dallas. And I'm like, yes, but only if the company uses that hashtag. And so, because I'm curious, I got my phone and typed in hashtag marketing jobs Dallas. You know how many hits I got? 0. Why? Because it's probably a little too specific. Things that are, the more specific you get onto a hashtag, the less it will get hits coming through. So yes, that is a thing, provided the company actually uses it as a hashtag. Follow the companies and engage. I was just talking about this. Actually, make sure that you follow the company that you're looking to break into. Again, it's not the social media person that's going to be the one that decides whether or not you get a job, but engaging with a company is always a good practice. Again, you want to be noticed, right? And this is you want to stand out. The other thing is you slide into those DMs. This is not my idea, actually. This was a Gary Vaynerchuk thing. Gary V was talking once, said, he gets a lot of DMs. Sometimes he's in a good mood and he will, people ask, hey, can I get like 20 minutes of your time? Sometimes he says, I'm in a good mood, and I'll say yes, right? Like, if you are able to do that and send messages and people respond, again, it's just a good way for you to get noticed. So that's my Instagram. Oh, meetups. Is anybody going to any meetups? Yep, Jeff is. I may or may not have some clients on this call. If I do, you know about meetups, because I love meetups. I go to meetups. I'm in some meetups. I like meetups, and here's why. When you go to a meetup, right, it's about a specific thing. They have meetups for everything. For you guys that don't know what meetups are, you can go to meetup.com and you'll sign up for an account. It'll ask you questions like things that you like to do, and you'll then get suggestions from meetups based on what it is you said you liked, right? They have meetups for everything out there. There are some meetups for job seekers, but sometimes the energy level is not where it should be. So I tell people, go to meetups for things that you just like doing, right? You like dogs? They got a dog meetup. You like detective TV shows? There's a detective TV show meetup. They got a meetup for people that like to walk in the park and drink wine. That's an actual. I'm not part of that meetup. I don't drink wine, but that is a friend of mine is. I know it's a real thing, right? Like, that's an actual. They have meetups for everything. Find something that you like and go to that meetup. Here's what happens when you do this, okay? First off, you show up and they already like you. They already like you because you like detective TV shows as well, right? The other thing is, it depends on how long the group's been around. You show up, you're new. Now they really like you because you're new, right? But what happens and what will happen is, and this happens in every group situation, you're going to click with one or two other people more than somebody else, right? Some of the meetups are virtual. Some of them are in person. You figure out which ones you want to do. I always think in person is better, but just because you could read people a little bit better. But you figure out your comfort level on what you want to do. But you'll click with one or two other people. You can take that conversation offline to a different platform, or like maybe in person, right? Like, if it's going to be virtual, right? Because maybe the person's not local to you, right? Like, since the pandemic, guys, we've been living in a virtual world for quite some time. you know. So maybe the person maybe the person's not local, maybe it's a virtual thing and they're in San Francisco and you're in Dallas. Okay, cool, let's do virtual coffee, right? Ask them for virtual coffee, 20 minutes virtual coffee. That's 10 minutes for you to tell your story, 10 minutes for them to tell their story. Let's figure out how we can help each other, right? And even though they are in San Francisco and you're in Dallas, you don't know who they know. They may know somebody local in Dallas. I don't know. But until you start having those conversations, you're not going to know. But one of the things that meetup's easy because the people, again, they you show up and they just like you for the thing that it is. It's dogs or whatever. But sooner or later, you're going to run out of dog stuff to talk about, right? And let's say it's in person, and it's like you know, like, oh, that's your dog? That's your dog? Oh, he's cute. He's cute. He's running around. Does he do any tricks? No. Okay, yeah, that's my dog over there. He does nothing. He just sits. Okay, after about 5-10 minutes of this, you're gonna run out of stuff to talk about. Hey, what'd your dog eat, by the way? You know, like, and so at some point, it's gonna go like this. So, David, what do you do? It's just how we communicate as humans. I I give this presentation or I say this, and just last week, or it's last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. I take walks and I was walking through the park and there's like 4 people and they're all just kind of looking up. And I noticed one of them that's been in the park at the same time walking that I am. So I walk up to them. I'm like, hey guys, what are y'all doing? Because everybody's looking up. And somebody on the other end of the park, they had one of these giant remote control planes that they were flying and it was doing tricks and stuff. And that's what they were watching. And so I'm like, hey, I've seen you in the park before. I'm Jason. And everybody introduced themselves. And it wasn't a minute and a half, 2 minutes before one of the ladies turned to me and she goes, so what do you do? And I'm like, son of a mother, let's go. I keep telling everybody this is what's going to happen. And here it is happening to me in real life. It was the funniest thing. But my point on this and meetups, people hire and they do business with people they like. They just do. So again, you show up to a meetup, they're already going to like you for the thing that the topic is about. Then they're going to get to know you. You're going to click and get into it with more people, right? Basically, you're just getting friends to help you out when you're looking for a job, right? What about Nextdoor? Does anybody know on Nextdoor? Some people, Jeff, you're on everything. You raise your hand for all the social media. Nextdoor, I like Nextdoor. Nextdoor is an app. You can get it at the App Store. It's free. Basically, what Nextdoor does is it tells you what's going on in your neighborhood. I live in Plano, and we have a bobcat that's around. So it's like my next door is like it's full with the bobcats at El Dorado Park, and they like take a picture of it. It's like that's what my next door looks like. But one of the things that you can do with Nextdoor is this. And this wasn't even my idea. I had this aha moment. My neighbor, he's a handyman. His name's Trevor. And Trevor was I forgot what he was fixing at my house. I had him come over to fix something. And I'm talking to him. I was like, where do you get a lot of business from? And he goes, oh, I get a lot of business from Nextdoor. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So that's where I had that aha moment, because what's happening and what Trevor's doing is he's posting in Nextdoor, hey, you need those gutters fixed? Give me a call, right? And or whatever it is, whatever the things he could do, right? And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Because if he can prospect business through Nextdoor, you can prospect leads, right? Guys, who better to look for leads for you than your neighbors, right? Create a post in Nextdoor that says, hey, I'm a project manager. I'm looking for work. Let me know if you have any lead, and leave your number like Trevor did. Now, you will go to Nextdoor jail. They will shut your Nextdoor down. They will shut it down. I believe Trevor said it was like it should get shut down for like 14 days or something like that. But then he's back up and on it and still prospecting business. So just be aware, like if you try this tactic, they will shut you down, right? Because you're not letting people know where the bobcat is. But they will shut you down. But once you get back up, you can do another post like that again, right? So I think it's an excellent idea. Again, it's not something a lot of people think of doing, and you might come away with a couple of leads. So Guys, that is the presentation. Let me stop sharing that. And did we have, Jeff, I wasn't really looking at the chat.
All right, that is his presentation. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to unmute your mic and ask away. Questions, comments from anybody? All right, well, let me share a few more slides and we will get out of here today. Thank you very much for joining us. Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please come join us. Tomorrow morning at the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, our scheduled speaker is Dr. Glenn Earl. He's going to talk about the 5 stages of grief and job search. I'm still waiting to hear back for his confirmation, so I'm hoping he'll be with us. If not, I'll have an alternate program ready to go. Next Tuesday, for LinkedIn Tuesdays, our speaker is Locke Alderson. He'll talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting, strategies to get results. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting in person. You can watch an actual practice interview. It will only be in person. I got the wrong, there we go, here's the right slide. We'll be meeting in person only. There'll be no online or Facebook Live next Wednesday for that. If you want to join us, come to Christ United Methodist Church, 3101 Coit Road, the corner of Parker and Coit. Our next online interviewing schedule will be on July 26th. And then next Thursday, we'll talk all about effective resumes being the 3rd Thursday of the month. We've got a speaker who'll talk all about that, primarily resumes geared to the ATS system. Please, if you'd like to join the Career DFW or Career USA LinkedIn groups, please join one or both. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join the Career DFW group. We've got over 14,800 members, and probably 1 out of 15 of those members are in HR or in human resources or recruiters are trying to find you. So please join the group. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, click on playlist, and then at the very bottom, find the topic you want, one of 7 different playlists. Underneath networking, which says view full playlist. Click on that and I'll become a list of all the dates and topics and titles, and you can go back and watch any one of those that you're interested in. If you're not receiving emails about a workshop, or you know somebody else who's not, please let them join the Career USA mailing list. You can just scan that QR code. It will automatically generate an email. You don't have to type anything in, just click on that, click on the email, hit send, and you're good. Or you can just send an email to Career USA, the + subscribe at groups.io. You do not need to put anything in the body of the email. Just send the email and it will get you onto our list. Please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. All of our speakers are volunteers. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 14.5 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. So thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. Have a great Thursday, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning.